So anyway, okay, but most of the time, Mark and Drew, you catch any fish in Pontusic and Noda Lake, any of the lakes around here, most people release them. They don't take them home. So I think they know, even without seeing a warning on the trees, you guys have gotten the point across.
Well, there's definitely groups out there that have catch and release mentality. But there's a lot of people out there that rely on the fact that they, especially in today's economic times, they go fishing and they eat what they catch. And it's, so we're really concerned with that. And, I personally, most of you who have seen me know that I like to eat.
Yeah.
So, not that I'm a big fisherman, but there are a lot of people out there that go out there every single day to go fishing, and they bring home and they eat what they catch because they have to.
Yeah. But I mean, okay. The big thing about mercury, and we were talking about this before on here. Remember, Carol, when we were kids, I don't know about you, but when we were kids, the mercury it was really fun to break one of those puppies open, because then it would kind of ball up and go off in different directions and everything. And I'm still here. I don't see a problem with that.
Think how smart you would have been if you hadn't been playing with those thermometers, though.
Ooh, that hurts.
Smarter than the average bear, anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today. Carol's going to go outside and sit in the corner.
In the cold.
Yeah, in the cold. Yeah, exactly. Mark Justice here, Carol Oldham, and Drew Grande. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and we're talking basically about this National Wildlife Federation of Berkshire County League of Sportsmen. Wednesday night, 6:30 at Berkshire Community College. How many of you have ever wondered about what's in the water? How many of you have wondered about what's in the air? We're going to talk about the Clean Air Act now, or lack of. But to me, the air is clean. But it's like Drew said, it's stuff you can't see. All right, so this is why Wednesday night, Mark, you're going to love people to ask questions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to have a couple. Myself will be there. Joe Alcock, who is also from National Wildlife Federation, he'll be there. And we're going to have a nice presentation. We have a slide presentation explaining, the ins and the outs of this whole program. Mm-hmm. And then we will certainly open up to questions and answers, because that's the best way to get the people educated as to what's happening.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a situation that's almost behind the scenes. You talk to people on a daily basis, and they really don't know what's happening with this. Some people have heard of the Clean Air Act. The Clean Air Act has been around since the 1970s. Yeah. And it's been doing a great job, and we need to do a better job. And here we have an opportunity to get some change made, but we need more people involved. We just recently, how many people did we send the signatures that we have?
I think there were 800,000 comments altogether on the mercury and air toxics rule.
So, and that was just people in Massachusetts.
That was national.
Nationally, I apologize.
I don't remember how many there were from Massachusetts.
Could have let me say nationally.
I know. Sorry.
But it's definitely an issue that affects everyone. I mean, you think about this, Larry. There is not a single can of tuna on the grocery shelves that doesn't say mercury warning on it.
I've never looked.
Well, believe me.
But that brings up a point of how many, seafood products. I mean,
Lobster.
Lobster.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Come
on.
Absolutely.
The stuff they bring into Portland, Maine, those little critters got mercury in them?
Absolutely.
Well, and I think one of the things that gives me hope when I think about all of this is that it's actually relatively easy to clean it up, and it'll clean up relatively fast. Mm-hmm. So if we put these air pollution controls in now, we would be able to start eating fish within a decade. And we would actually maybe even within 3 years.
That would be
safely.
Cool. Yeah, that would be cool. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more with Drew, Carol, and Mark, and talking about first of all, the deal that's going on Wednesday night, November 2nd, 6:30 at Berkshire Community College. It's question and answers, the National Wildlife Federation, Berkshire County League of Sportsmen. They'll be talking about the Clean Air Act, or lack of, and we're talking about mercury. All right. It's in the water. It's in the fish. But like Carol just said, if they clean it, it's easy to clean up, you say. Huh? Yeah. Right, well, we'll get that out of her in a moment. Stick around and up front. This morning, I've got a pile of people in the studio. Actually, not a pile. I got 3 of them, actually. I got Mark Jester. Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Good morning, Larry.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you very much. Appreciate being here.
And I've seen Mark down at the Sportsman's Club. It's the one in Lennox.
Lennox
right?
Sportsman's Club, yeah.
This guy can aim a bow and arrow. Let me tell you something. I mean, you have nothing on on Robin Hood. I mean, because
I just don't look as good in tights.
So that is a scary thing.
It is a scary
If anybody knows you, they know you're not 98 pounds.
No.
Then I've got Carol Oldham. Morning.
Morning.
And Carol is here. She's the Northeast Regional Outreach Coordinator. That's a nice title. And you came out here from Boston.
Yes.
Today.
Drove all the way out just for you.
Got up nice and early.
Very.
Oh, well. But then she's with the National Wildlife Federation. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Drew Grande's here. He's the Associate Field Organizer for the Sierra Club. I have heard of the Sierra Club. I've never met anyone from the Sierra Club. So nice to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you too, Larry.
Yeah, so what do you do? The same thing they do over at their club? Or
a little bit different club, but we're kind of same kind of goals. We both want to protect wild places and protect air quality to make sure that the wildlife and the people enjoying it can breathe easy.
Every time I think of the Sierra, I think of the Sierras out in...
That's where it got started.
I lived out there. Let me tell you something. It's gorgeous out there. And the air is clean, but there's still mercury out there. I remember in Grand Teton they're talking about, mercury in the air, those were being polluted from California, the whole thing. They went through that whole spiel. So, all right. I want to talk because Carol mentioned something that it would be kind of, you can clean up the mercury. How do you clean up the mercury, though?
Well, step one is that you stop emitting it.
Oh, okay.
So if you stop putting it out, that's a good first step. Mm-hmm. And the Environmental Protection Agency has, they've been taking comments, we mentioned that before, on their mercury and air toxics rule. Mm-hmm. And if they put the rule into effect, it would cut 91% of mercury emissions. So, like I said, we could start eating fish in just a couple of years.
Yeah, but some people say, you're putting the scare into everybody. You can't see mercury. You can't, well, you could, I suppose, but you can't smell it. You can't taste it. It's like carbon dioxide. It's out there somewhere. And you got all these warnings, don't take fish home and everything. So, but it's there, but we can get it cleaned up. Now, Mark, the thing is that you and I, of course, living out here, we know that the prevailing winds blow in from New York State. They blow in from the west and northwest. Now, from what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but are there some manufacturing plants out in New York State, of course closer to Ohio, but they're out in New York State, and they're sending stuff this way?
Well, as you said, Larry, everything is prevailing wind from the west. But one of the things that more home based is Mount Tom here in Holyoke and Northampton area.
Right.
And this is a generation plant that is currently out of compliance and is really emitting a ton of almost a ton of mercury and pollutants into the air. And Drew here, this is a pet project for Drew.
You can imagine